welcome back to my channel and April's edition of Tbr Trimdown. So if you watched the last Tbr Trimdown video, you know that I started this month off with 100 books on my physical TBR, and I was trying to get that number down to 95. I can tell you right now, I did not get that number down to 95. I started out this month in a really bad reading slump. I didn't really read at all much for the first 2 weeks of the month. So I finished 4 books this month, but we'll talk about that as we chat through all the things I borrowed and a couple of things that I finished. So first off, I started this month on a really strong note, and instead of finishing a book, I borrowed 2 books from the library app. I borrowed The Oracle Queen and The Young Queens, which are both novellas that go along with the Three Dark Crowns series. If you haven't been watching long, you might not know, but I am completely obsessed with that series. I absolutely love it. So when I saw the novellas, I thought it would be really fun to read. Then I noticed on the top of my bookshelf some books that I had not yet included in my physical TBR, and that is the box set of the Laura Ingalls Wilder Little House on the Prairie books, which my sister lovingly bought for me at a flea market quite a long time ago. And I've read a couple of these books in the past, but there are 6 of these books that I have not read, and so let's just add 6 more to that number on my TBR. Then after that, my luck did change a bit, and I sort of started getting out of my reading slump and started reading Sidney Chambers and the Shadow of Death. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So yeah, I started reading Sidney Chambers and the Shadow of Death, which was on my TBR from this last month. So I finally finished Sidney Chambers and the Shadow of Death on the 20th of April. Yes, I didn't finish anything before then because I wasn't really reading before then. But I finished this. I did really enjoy it. I gave Sidney Chambers and the Shadow of Death 4 stars. If you didn't see, this is a book of short stories all connected. Sidney Chambers is the vicar, I think, of this parish in Grantchester, England, and he helps solve cases. Not all murder, there's like some theft ones, just cases that he helps to solve for the police. I would say the first couple of stories I wasn't liking so much, and then I got into it more as the stories went along. I started to enjoy them more. Next up, I went back to my ways of getting books when I shouldn't be, and I added a couple of free books that I found on Amazon. First up was The Fairest of Them All, which is the story of the Wicked Queen from Snow White, I believe. I don't really know a ton about it, but I saw it on Instagram for free, and so I downloaded it onto my Kindle. Then my friend Megan recommended a book on Amazon that was also free called Emmeline, and I know nothing about it except I think it's a Regency romance, which I am definitely all there for. Then I finally read those 2 novellas that I was talking about earlier, The Young Queens and The Oracle Queen. So I really enjoyed both of them. Like I said, the Three Dark Crowns series is something I'm obsessed with. I absolutely love those novels. And so these novellas were really interesting insight into some of the characters that are mentioned and also the main characters of the original series. So I gave them both 4 stars. Well written, really enjoyable. Not must-reads, but they were really quick and really fun. Next up, guess what? I got another book on Kindle that was free. I'm part of a Goodreads group that is authors looking for people to review their books, and someone posted that their books were free on Amazon, and so I went and got one of them, which sounded interesting. It's called Westward to Strange, which is a strange title. Again, I don't know much about it, but it sounded kind of like thriller, fantasy kind of thing, which is right up my alley. So I downloaded that. Finally, on the last day of the month, actually at 1 a.m. this morning, and it is May 1st when I'm filming this, I finally finished Elantris by Brandon Sanderson, and I loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. I think you should go into it not knowing a ton, but of course it is a fantasy book, and the political movements are really good, and the fantasy and magic part of it is really interesting, and it just has this really human element where it's like, what can we as humans withstand? What kind of pain, what kind of suffering can we withstand when we have something to live for, basically. So I really enjoyed it. 5 out of 5 stars. I'm excited to read more Brandon Sanderson in future, but first I gotta finish all these other books. So that's all the books that I read and finished and got from the library and from Amazon, and that number went up by 7. So I started this month at 100, now I'm at 107. Which means I need to pick 9 books to read this month. But also, in case you didn't notice, I did not read all 5 of the books that I put on my TBR for last month, so I've got some challenges to do. I did not complete Jane Austen's Selected Letters, Banana Cream Pie Murder, or The Woman in White. So I have to pick 3 challenges, and I created for myself a little challenge jar, and I'm just going to shake this up. Basically in here there are challenges that are going to add books to my TBR, which would be great because I really can read more than 9 in a month. There are going to be physical challenges and some creative challenges, and also some like service oriented challenges. So let's pick. I got to pick 3 out of here. Oh, of course, the hardest one that I put in here I got. Not want to focus on that. Okay, well, it doesn't want to focus, but it says outline a short story or novel. So I've been wanting to get back into writing. In order to do that, I have to actually have a story or something that I'm working on. So this is going to be to come up with an idea and then outline it. And I will put a clip in of me doing this right now. Hi everyone, it's Monday evening, and I just sort of feel like I have enough of an outline to call my challenge completed. So I have this idea, and don't steal it, I'm watching you. But basically, did you guys ever read those Choose Your Own Adventure books as a kid? I loved those books, and so as I was thinking about like what I wanted to write, I've always wanted to write murder mysteries. But then I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a choose your own murder mystery? So that's what I'm gonna write. Okay, number 2. Like, hopefully this is kinder to me this time. Oh, okay. So this one says, pick a book from the Tbr Teapot. Well, I wrote down all the books on my physical TBR for the most part. I might have missed a couple, there are a lot, but and I put them all in this really cute teapot that I have. So I'm just gonna pick a book out of there, and that will be one of the books that I have to read this next month, in addition to the 9 that I still need to pick. So here we go. Of course. Okay, let me find it. Just a second. So the Tbr Teapot could not have been meaner to me, and it picked out the Bourne Supremacy. This is a fairly long book. Also, the writing is tiny. It is over 600 pages long. Yeah, that just happened. So Bourne Supremacy will be read, hopefully, this month. Otherwise, I might have a lot of challenges to do next month, you guys. Take pity on me. One last challenge. Let's see what I get. Okay, this one's an easy one. Yay! This one says to pick up all the trash on my next walk. So I will put in footage of me going on a walk tomorrow. Alright, so now I need to pick my 9 other books that I'm going to be reading this month. Also this month, I'm taking part in the Spark Joy Readathon, which was created by Read with Sam on Instagram, so I will link her Instagram down below so you can find it and take part. It's all month, and there are 10 prompts. You can do as many prompts as you want. You can do 1 prompt, all the prompts, 2 prompts, however many you want, and you can use 1 book to fulfill multiple prompts if you need to. So, since I have 9 books to pick, why not pick them off of this prompt list? So, the first one is reread a book you loved when you were younger. So, let's see. So for this prompt, I'm going to read Voyage on the Titanic, on the Great Titanic, which is a diary style book. I loved these diary style books when I was younger, and this is the only one I still own, I think. I didn't see any more on my shelf, but they're really fun. They're really quick. I mean, obviously it's fairly large writing and in diary format. This one takes place on the Great Titanic. There were ones that were like princesses and different royalty around the world, things that focused on different eras, and so I really loved these, and I'm really excited to reread this one. Next up is a book with yellow on the cover, and for this, I am going to read Banana Cream Pie. Hopefully this month. I'm going to get to it, you guys. So obviously the bananas are yellow, the writing is yellow, so it's got yellow on the cover, and it should be pretty quick and fun. Next up is a book about someone traveling or going on an adventure. I'm trying to think of all the books I have to read and not think. I don't want it to be like too long, so. Oh, okay, I know. If you haven't seen my Gryffindor book tag video, go and check that out. It's also an announcement for a Harry Potter read-along that I'm hosting starting in May, and in May we're going to be reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and I'm pretty sure he goes on a grand adventure in this book. So that's the one I'm picking for this prompt. If you want to join in my read-along, please feel free to. I will be hosting a live video at the end of this month, and possibly some live reading hours or things on Instagram, so make sure you're following me over there. And yeah, we're just gonna have fun reading Harry Potter throughout the rest of the year. And make sure you tag me and use the hashtag Hannah's HP Readalong so that I can find your posts and share them, and we can just connect with our love of Harry Potter. Next up is a book by an author you've never read before. For this prompt, I'm going to go with High Iron by Tim Crary. I was sent this book by the author, so thank you very much, in exchange for a review, so I'm going to go ahead and read that this month. It's not super long, and the writing is pretty big, so it shouldn't take a long time. This is a fantasy book. Okay, 4 down, 5 to go. The next one is a book written by your favorite author. So I have multiple favorite authors, but for this one I'm going to choose one of my Agatha Christie books. I'm going to pull up this monster of a book, but I'm not reading this whole thing. I was gifted this collection of, I think 5 complete Agatha Christie novels, all bound in one, so it's ginormous, but I'm going to be reading the first one in here, which is They Came to Baghdad. Okay, the next one is a book that involves baking, fiction or nonfiction. Now, I already chose Banana Cream Pie Murder, so I'm going to switch things up. Banana Cream Pie Murder is going to be for a book that involves baking, and a book with yellow on the cover is going to be, I just picked one at random, but Nancy Drew and the 13th Pearl. So obviously these are yellow. I love Nancy Drew, they're super fast and should be fun. Next up is a book you already own that you were excited for. So obviously I have a lot of those, but I'm gonna go ahead. For this prompt, I'm going to go with Queen of Hearts by Colleen Oakes. I found this at a used bookstore that I went to with my friend quite a while back, and it sounded interesting. I love a retelling, like through the evil person's perspective, so it hopefully will be good. Again, it's not super long. It's like 300 pages, so it should be doable. next up, I'm going to do the prompt, a book a friend or partner, family, coworker, etc., someone recommended to you. And for this, I'm going to be reading my Kindle book, Emmeline, which, as I mentioned earlier, was recommended to me by my friend Megan. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Finally on to my last pick. Wish me luck, you guys, because I'm a slow reader. It's finally time for the heartache to come, you guys. So the last one that I'm going to be doing, there are still more prompts, so make sure you check out her posts. But this one is a book you're most intimidated by. Now, for this prompt, I have already started this book, but the last half of this book is intimidating, and I have not been able to bring myself to read it, but I'm going to do it this month. And since it's only half a book that I have to finish, that will hopefully help with, you know, the reading 10 books this month. So that is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. First of all, I just love this binding. This was my mom's growing up, and it's kind of falling apart a little bit, but it's absolutely beautiful and I love it. So yeah, I just have the second half of this book to read, and we all know what happens in the second half of this book, and I just didn't want it to happen, and so I haven't been reading it. But this month I am making myself read this book, and it'll be great, and we'll finally finish it. Okay, guys, here's all the books. Whoa. That I'm gonna be reading this month. Oh yeah, that just happened. See, it's too many books. It's too many books. Let's try that again. Here we go. Hopefully that's balanced better. This is all of the books that I am gonna be reading, hopefully, in May. So if you lost count, that's 10 books. One of them is a reread, so 9 books that will hopefully be coming off of my TBR, but this is a lot of books, and I'm a slow reader, so wish me luck, and I will see you guys next month with another edition of the TBR Trimdown, and I will hopefully have gotten the number down a little bit instead of it going up again, and I hope you have a fantastic day.